Land of Mine is a powerful, intense look at a real life situation. In post World War II, after the occupation of Denmark, German POW soldiers were essentially coerced into walking the minefields of the coast of Denmark and by hand finding and disarming the mines that are scattered all over the beaches. We're talking millions or square feet and hundreds of thousands of unexploded mines. And these soldiers are tasked with finding those mines. Now, just hearing that, it sounds like cruel and unusual punishment. And in many regards, you can understand how certain cultures can look upon that as saying that's fair retribution for the hell that Germany put Denmark through. And for some, it's a fair eye for an eye, and it's only it's justice, it's right. But then, in hindsight, to look back and saying, is it truly right to force someone to essentially commit suicide for a war that maybe even they didn't really support, only because they really had no choice but to follow orders? There's a lot of there's gray areas that are involved in here in this scenario, and Land of Mine does not skirt the issue, and it goes right at it front and center. Right, it takes you right to the front lines, and it follows a group of POWs who are made up of mostly teenagers who are sent to a beach to work under the brutal command of a sergeant who clearly hates Germany and basically takes it out on these young soldiers, and basically just has no care in the world for these kids. In his eyes, they're the enemy, and the enemy put him and his country and his friends through hell, and they're going to pay for it. And he could care less what happens to these kids. Now, from our vantage point, we can see both sides, and we can understand where either side is coming from. But it's just in the end, the unifying factor in this film is finding and holding on to one's own humanity, even in times of war or post-war, where the scars run so deep that it's almost impossible to come out of and find forgiveness for anyone, especially the enemy, or at the time, a group who was the enemy. And Land of Mine, sure, it hits those beats, but it's in service of the story, and you are really drawn in on both sides. You're drawn in by the power of this sergeant and his imposing character, and you're also drawn in with these young soldiers. It's like, sure, they're the enemy, they're Germans, they're bad, but in the end, they're just people. I mean, it's the same effect how Wolfgang Petersen's Das Boot, where you're watching that movie and you're basically following this German U-boat, and you're even though you know they're the enemy, you are with these men. You empathize with these men. You feel the tension that they're going through. And the same is an effect here in Land of Mine, which was written and directed by Martin Zunvliet. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And it features some great performances by Roland Muller, Louis Hoffman, Joel Bossman, and it features some really tense sequences, in many cases similar to Hurt Locker from Catherine Bigelow. The tension is played out really well, where you're not sure if something's going to go off, and you're lulled into a sense of safety, and then out of the blue something happens, and this takes you off guard, and it just puts you into the situation that these men, real men, found themselves in, and it's hard to imagine one being these guys who have to go down to down there and find the mines, to being a commander who basically has to put these men through it, and then 3 being people of the region to understand just how they're feeling and their resentment and hate towards the enemy or anyone who happens to be occupying on their land. I mean, it's like, it's sure this film is about World War II, but you can even take those scenarios and put it into present day, like how anyone felt about any Iraqi citizens during Desert Storm, or how people felt about anyone who looked Muslim or is Muslim, how they felt about them after 9/11, and how we all wanted swift justice and take action. But then we understand the depths of humanity, that maybe they aren't exactly the best choices, and it's really not for us to say what was right, what was wrong, unless we actually live through those situations. And those are some compelling arguments that this film really brings up into a very powerful conclusion. So Land of Mine, I would give 4 stars out of 5. It's a really compelling, tense drama that's many times can be quite relevant for today. So Land of Mine, 4 stars. If you like this review, hit that like button below. Have you heard about this film from Denmark, Land of Mine? Have you heard about the actual true story about these German soldiers who were forced to find the mines that were laid behind on the beaches of Denmark? Please comment and let me know. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, so you can stay on top of my new reviews, retro reviews, and trailer reactions, and any of the fun things I would put up on my channel. And also, by the way, if you've already subscribed to my channel, please hit that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified of whenever I put up a new content, including reviews and stuff like that. So until next time, my friends, we'll see you at the movies.